Hey, what's up everyone? GameDad here, and I am back with another unboxing video, and I am super excited because I've always wanted to do one of these, and it is this big old box right here, and if you can read that, it is a new 3D printer, and you even get to put it together yourself. Now, I do not have a lot of experience with 3D printers. I have always wanted one, and I'm so excited to have one, and actually put it together, because the only other 3D printer I've ever used was a monoprice 3D printer, and it was already built. You just kind of like took out the packing foam and you were good to go. This one you actually got to put it together, but it does have an auto leveling bed, which I'm very excited about. It's got a really nice print area. I believe it's 220 by 220 by 250, so be able to print all kinds of cool stuff. And I am very excited to unbox this, get it all put together, and get it tested out, because this thing was not a super expensive find, and I'm very excited to see how it works. But first, before we dive in, if you are new to the channel or you just haven't yet, please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell. That way you get an alert every time I've got a new video coming out. Alright, now sit back, enjoy the time lapse, and we're going to get a 3D printer put together. Alright, so you all saw a little bit of the footage of this thing printing, and that was about as successful as this printer got. It was the 2 test prints. So, got a little piggy coin bank here, and a little pup. And those printed fine. But printing literally anything else has been one of the most stressful things I have ever done. So, unfortunately, this has a lot of negatives, and I'm going to go through them. I mean, I'll throw in the positives too first, but there's a lot of negatives on this. So, positives. Assembly was easy. Negative. The instructions for the assembly, complete garbage. Like, you know when you get something that's very poorly, like, dubbed into English, and then they're trying to make it make sense and kind of dumb it down, but it just makes it way worse? Yeah, that was the instructions for this, and they were absolute trash. Now, let's talk about the auto leveling that is on this printer. Yeah, it has auto leveling, but only after you very fine-tune manual level the entire bed. It says that it comes leveled. It does not. It is not even remotely leveled out of the box. It was very, very off, and it has taken many days of trying to tweak things and do anything to it just to get it to print something semi-accurately outside of their test print files that are built in. Now, I will say I did find some instructions online, and they went way more in-depth and were a lot more helpful. However, the instructions that come with this thing, they tell you to install this super old version of Cura, the modeling software and slicing software, but it does not work properly. It is super janky software. They have you load in their own INI file to like update the G code on the printer, and it does not upload it properly. So you put in the G code, then further down in their instructions, they tell you to match all of their settings. However, then they've written over those instructions with all kinds of red marker. That way you have to follow those new instructions, and it completely contradicts everything. So the instructions are just, like I said, total trash. Now, after searching around a ton online, what I ended up finding was just download the latest version of the Cura software, which is way newer than the one that they tell you to do. And it actually has this model of printer built into it. So that was nice. So that really helped to really make the process easier as far as slicing a new file. However, the leveling on this machine is such absolute garbage that it makes it just impossible to get a good print. And on top of that, as soon as you put on the glass printing surface, it loses its ability to properly use the induction sensor that is built into the printer head, because it's adding like a 1/4 inch or maybe a 1/2 inch thick piece of glass that you can't even get through now. So it's constantly jamming the print nozzle down into the glass just so it can get close enough to trigger that sensor and make it pop back off the bed. So it just, any leveling that you've done without the glass on there so that it can level properly ends up being thrown out the window, because then you have to put the glass print bed down in order to have a smooth surface to print on, and it just doesn't work right. So, I mean, for the cost, this is a very attractive printer because it's typically anywhere from 125 to like 150 bucks. And you would think, wow, that's a really great starter price. And it is a really great starter price. But honestly, there is absolutely no way in hell that I can recommend this printer with how many issues I've had with this. And on top of all of that, I've tried contacting support, and they just don't get back to you. Buddy of mine, Gary, over at Rock Solid Productions, he hasn't even been able to actually review his unit yet, because during the setup process, the little Bowden tube that transfers the filament through, it broke. And he's been trying to get a new one, and support's not contacting him. So I think he ended up going online to find a different part, and hopefully that will work. So overall, my thoughts are, I've had an absolutely horrible experience with this printer after the couple initial sample prints where I thought everything was great. And overall, I would absolutely never recommend the Anet, whatever, ET4 to anyone, ever. Like, no, just don't. Just get something else. Get like a Prusa or an Ender 3 or whatever it's called. Myself, I actually ordered a different, better printer than this with a much larger printing bed. And one of the big draws that this other one has, it has a printing bed that is heated and magnetic, so it can pop right off. You don't have to worry about messing with thickness of glass or anything like that, because induction sensors can go ahead and just touch that and it knows where it is. Plus, the Y-axis instead of being on one single rail that can teeter back and forth, it has two rails to stabilize it. So I will be doing a video on that printer whenever it comes in, but for now, on this one, don't get it. Like, no. I'm sure that Anet makes, or Anet, however you pronounce her name, I'm sure they make a nice product. This is not one of them. They do have several other different kinds of machines, but this one is just, no, don't do it. Now, if you liked today's video, let me know down in the comments below, and also let me know, do you have a 3D printer, and what kind is it? Do you have any experience with the Anet ET4? I would love to hear from someone else, because everything I'm finding online, it's not that great. And while you're down there, please be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell. That way you get an alert every time I got a new video coming out. Also, we are getting much, much closer to that 1,500 mark. I checked earlier today, and I believe we are only 10 subs away. So remember, as soon as we hit that 1,500 sub mark, I will be doing a giveaway, and this is a copy of Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game complete edition from Limited Run Games. We will do a giveaway raffle as soon as we reach 1,500, so be on the lookout, and remember, tell everyone to come and sub to the channel. Now, as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you later.